I am Jimmy, and here are my thoughts on depreciation of Ghana's Cedi. Root causes versus political blame game. Street forex bureaus, people checking rates. Dollar versus Cedi graphs, politicians at rallies. The Ghana Cedi keeps falling. Every time it drops, politicians point fingers. But is it really politics? Or are there deeper economic truths behind the decline? The economic roots. Tema Port, cocoa farms, oil rigs, busy markets. The first truth is simple. Ghana imports far more than it exports. From fuel and machinery to food and medicine, the demand for dollars is always higher than the supply. And when demand is greater than supply, the Cedi weakens. Second, debt and dollar demand. Every year, Ghana must repay billions in loans. In servicing these debts drains dollar reserves, and the more we borrow, the more pressure piles on the Cedi. 1980s, Ghana, IMF headquarters, protests from structural adjustment era. But to understand the Cedi's struggles, we must also look at Ghana's economic system. Until the early 1980s, Ghana ran a mixed economy. The government controlled key industries, set prices, and subsidized imports. It created some stability, but also inefficiencies and mounting debts. Then, in 1983, the IMF stepped in with structural adjustment programs. State enterprises were privatized, subsidies were cut, and Ghana was pushed towards a liberal market economy. At first, this stabilized growth, but it also left the Cedi far more exposed to global shocks, external debt, and investor confidence. The legacy of that shift still shapes the Cedi today. Third, inflation and investor confidence. High inflation erodes trust in the economy. Combine this with fiscal mismanagement, and investors quickly move their money into safer currencies, usually the dollar. At its core, the Cedi's weakness is not just about politics. It's about demand and supply, confidence and fear. The political blame game. Opposition rallies, parliament debates, radio talk, shows. When the Cedi falls, politics takes center stage. Governments in power blame global shocks, from COVID to the Ukraine war to rising oil prices. Opposition parties argue it's mismanagement, corruption, and reckless borrowing. And every election cycle, the Cedi becomes a political weapon. It fell under your watch, not ours. The truth? Both sides have a point. Global shocks matter. But so does how Ghana manages its own economy. The human impact, mother bargaining at the market, taxi driver buying fuel, shopkeeper adjusting prices. For ordinary Ghanaians, the Cedi's fall is not a debate, it's daily survival. Prices of imported goods like rice, fuel, and medicine rise with every depreciation. Transport fares climb, and that increase cascades through the entire economy. Small businesses suffer the most. They buy in dollars, but they must sell in Cedis. For the average Ghanaian, the Cedi is not an economic theory. It's bread on the table, or hunger. The way forward. Bank of Ghana headquarters, local industries, made in Ghana products. So how do we move forward? First, by boosting exports, not only cocoa, gold, and oil, but by diversifying into technology, agriculture, and manufacturing. Second, by reducing import dependence and building stronger local industries. Third, by restoring confidence through discipline in borrowing, fiscal responsibility, and transparency. And finally, by tapping into new tools, like remittances and diaspora bonds, to strengthen dollar reserves. The Cedi may rise or fall in the short term, but without structural change, Ghana will remain trapped in the same cycle of depreciation and blame. Closing message split screen. Forex rate boards versus hopeful Ghanaian entrepreneurs. So the next time the Cedi falls, ask yourself, is it just politics, or is it the symptom of deeper problems yet to be solved?